The first annual State Champs Winter Jam is presented by the Horatio Williams Foundation, Leadership for Life. The Winter Jam is also brought to you in part by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, more members than any other basketball coaches association in the country. And Inside Prep Sports. Hey everybody, to the first, of course, State Champs Winter Jam. We're going to take a quick pause here for the national anthem. We're ready to go. All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Lauren Plant. This is Matt Mowry, and this is the first annual State Champs Winter Jam. Thank you so much for checking this particular broadcast out. We've got 4 games on the docket for today. We are going to start with the girls, and that is Country Day taking on Detroit Edison. So, Matt, let's get right into it as we kind of get set to finish up December here. This is a big showcase for both teams. 2 teams now in the same division.
Yeah, actually, Edison opted up from what had been Class C and will now be Division 3. They opted up to Division 2, and Country Day is the defending champs in what would be Division 2 now.
Yeah.
So this could theoretically be a playoff matchup that we're looking at down the road. So this will be interesting to see how this turns out as far as what we're looking at in the playoffs come March. We've
got a third member of our broadcast team who will be with us all day. He is Jason Ross Jr., and he has some opening comments. Jason.
Guys, both of these teams coming off back-to-back state titles. I asked both coaches how difficult it was to win 2 in a row and what they'll have to do to win 3 in a row. Head coach Monique Brown of Detroit Edison told me that it was really tough to go back-to-back, and in order to win 3 in a row, we have to remember how hard we worked to get 2 in a row. Head coach Frank Orlando on the Detroit Country Day side in his 37th year, the well-storied head coach, told me that, like Monique Brown, it was tough to win 2 in a row. This year, we have 3 really good players, Maddie Novak, Adrienne Folks, Jasmine Powell, but we need that entire starting 5 to come together. We have 3, but we need the entire starting 5 to come together and become a team, and he hopes they become a team by the time the tournament rolls around. Lauren?
Well, we are just about ready to go here. Again, 2 back-to-back state champs getting together to open up the State Champs Winter Jam. It couldn't be any more fitting, and we are fired up for it. So I can tell you this, Mr. Mowry, and that is the fact that you have had an opportunity to see both teams.
Sure.
I have only had the opportunity to see Detroit Edison play. Let me talk to that first.
Absolutely.
I went and had a chance to catch up with them on Tuesday, playing a good team, Ann Arbor Huron, and up by 20 at the half. Huron was able to battle back. and that was a little surprising. I think they kind of resorted to shooting from the outside. They were dropping some threes, and Edison was letting them do that. I think the key that when we talk about Detroit Edison is always Rickea Williams.
Absolutely, and she's the big kid in the middle. She's the one going to Mississippi
Rickea
State.
Jackson, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's fun to watch when she's on her game, and she's on her game the majority of the time. She's going to jump center here against Adrian Folks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a long time coming, and we are ready to tip off the first ever State Champs Winter Jam. 4 games all day today here at Lawrence Technological University. Once again, I'm Lauren Plant. This is Matt Mowry. The referees are ready to go. We've got both teams now set to be on the floor. Country Day versus Detroit Edison, which could be a playoff matchup in the state quarterfinals this year, right? Is that where they would get on?
I believe that's where they would match up, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're ready to go. Rickea Jackson, number 5, in red, up against Adrian Folks, the 6-foot senior for Country Day. Edison will start with the ball first. Rickea Jackson, you're going to see her run a lot of the offense for the Pioneers. Shot from the outside, deep 3, no good. Rebounded by Country Day. Maddie Novak, the Stetson-bound senior, with the basketball, being pressured in the backcourt by Jackson.
This is going to be the key for the entire game, and as we have a 10-second call here in the backcourt, how much Country Day is going to be able to handle the pressure. It looked like Jasmine Powell was warming up and looked fine, but she did not end up starting the game.
Right.
And
Talk about what happened to her last weekend.
Yeah, she rolled her ankle last weekend in the tournament, and at that point, Country Day was up 20 points on Columbus Northland in the Best of Michigan Classic last weekend. And at the point she went out, like I said, they had a pretty big lead, and that lead quickly got whittled down, and by the end of the game, Northland had won it by 8. And it was primarily with full court pressure. That's going to be, they're going to need those secondary ball handlers, whether it be Folks or Novak or Dixon or anybody who comes in the game, frankly, is going to have to handle the ball a little bit against Edison's pressure.
And they're going to have to handle Rickea Jackson, who hit a deep 3 moments ago. There underneath gets her own putback, and it has the Pioneers with an early 5-0 lead here at the State Champs Winter Jam. Novak with the basketball. Gets it over to Adrian Folks. Adrian right side, nice pass cut inside by Novak. She lays it up and in.
Maddie Novak is one of those kids that if you saw her freshman year at Lake Orion before she transferred, she is a prolific scorer when she's on. She can shoot from the outside. She can score in a variety of ways.
And so can Rickea Jackson. You just can't leave her open there. It doesn't matter how deep she's set up to drop it. She drops triples. Country Day the other way. Pressure all the way up. Nice.
Handled by Folks that time, and that's one of those things where she can handle the ball a little bit too, and she's going to have to today.
So 8-4, Edison currently leading Country Day. We're just underway here at the State Champs Winter Jam on the campus of Lawrence Tech inside the Riddler Fieldhouse. We expect to have good crowds for all 4 of our games. We've got Mount Clemens and Westland John Glenn next. Again, Jackson with the bucket inside. Unstoppable. She's done all the scoring so far for DEPSA here in the early going. The 3 o'clock game again, Westland John Glenn and Mount Clemens. The 5 o'clock game, Cass Tech and Ypsilanti. And the 7 o'clock brings Grand Rapids Catholic Central down from the west to face the Canton Chiefs.
You saw a little lob pass there with Rickea coming in the back door, and that's hard to stop when you've got a kid who's 5'10", 5'11" even. She's 6'3" and can jump over you, so it's real hard to defend that.
So the Pioneers doing what they do. They get out to leads. And interesting, they did go up against the team in Afrocentric from Ohio last weekend, and that was a game that you were at their own Edison Invitational, and they were defeated. How did they play the Edison and they were able to get the best of them?
Well, Afrocentric and Edison met up last year at Afrocentric's tournament in late January, and the thing that Afrocentric tried to do that time was they tried to run with Edison. And one thing that their coach told me after the game last weekend is that they'd learned their lesson from that, and they didn't speeding them up kind of works, but what they really wanted to do is they wanted to slow it down and play defense in the half court, which is where Afrocentric's strength really is defensively, and that worked. They were able to. Edison was able to get out and run every once in a while, but it was not consistent enough to jumpstart their offense, and so they really had trouble scoring the way they normally do, just because they weren't getting those easy points in transition.
Yellow Jackets having some trouble just trying to get the ball over the timeline right now. So that seems to be the situation at hand. Country Day being just stifled by the Pioneer defense, and they're stepping in front of everything. Coach Orlando, we have not yet talked about so far. Frank Orlando is a legend, Michigan's winningest high school coach of all time, and I think he will admit that this is not maybe as strong a lineup as he's had. He's got young players. He does have some good senior leadership. But again, when you're facing a team like the Pioneers, who are deep at every level, from freshman to varsity, you're going to have to bring it with buckets like that. Maddie Novak from 3.
They're going to have to find ways to give her like a little give and go there, get her open for shots, because she's going to be handling the ball, but getting herself open for shots is not necessarily her forte. She can do it, but if somebody else can get her an opportunity like that where she can get an open shot, that's going to be key, because she can nail them.
Yes, she can. So Country Day does get across the timeline in this particular endeavor. Adrian Folks doing a lot of the ball handling here in the early going. Set up top match against Demaya Higman, who again, she was lethal on Tuesday night. When it wasn't Ricky in the game dropping buckets, it was Higman. Deep 3, this one too short. Jackson starts it the other way for the Pioneers. She's going to take it strong to the rack this time, loses the handle. Picked up, Hageman for 3. Count it.
It's just unfair sometimes when you think you've got them stopped, you think you got a turnover, and it kind of bounces right to Demia Hageman, and she just nails a 3.
I have not looked it up, but I would imagine that Detroit Edison is ranked nationally and fairly up there.
Before they played Afrocentric, they were ranked number 4 in ESPNW's, and Afrocentric was ranked number 3.
Wow.
I don't know if they've dropped it all. I don't know if they've updated those rankings, but yeah, that was a top 5 matchup.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I'm assuming that that's not going to be counted as a bad loss, certainly, even though it was at home.
Jackson, the step back. Too strong. Yellow Jackets all over that one underneath the basket. We've got a whistle.
The one thing that the Yellow Jackets do have that's going to help them out against the majority of teams is that they do have size. With Chelsea Abulu and Jamila Elam up front rebounding, and Novak at 5'11" and Folks at 6 foot, they've got plenty of size. It's just going to be whether or not those taller girls can match up sometimes in open floor situations.
You got to figure out a way to stop Jackson. Kiera Jennings with the shot too strong. Again, rebounded by the Pioneers. It's hard to tell what numbers they are out there. They kind of blend in.
Yeah, the red on red is
exactly.
almost like the Catholic Central football jerseys, the white on white that we were all complaining about this year.
Exactly. Once again, I want to thank everybody who took part in organizing this event, the first annual State Champs Winter Jam. We plan on doing this for years to come. I got to thank my technical team, of course, up here on top of me and Matt. Gabe O'Neill, Kia Tyus, Kevin Trzynski, Johnny Kidd, the man himself, running the camera. Of course, we've got TJ Monty Productions here providing the DJ services all day. If you happen to be checking this out, come visit us. Be here. It's a $10 ticket for all day. Come check out. We got 3 games after this one. Novak strong the hole, fouled. She'll go to the line. So we've seen a lot of Maddie Novak. We've seen a lot of Adrian Folks here early. That's kind of been the game plan for Country Day and Frank Orlando. And again, want to get back to Frank Orlando.
Sure.
What a gem. What a gentleman. What a hero, for so many of his players. He stays involved in their lives, throughout their lives. We did a legend show. I really encourage everybody to check it out. It was such a pleasure getting a chance to really sit and talk about his life, which was amazing. Not only was he a great athlete, played some football at University of Detroit. Was also a great basketball player, but just a wonderful man. And you've obviously had many opportunities to chat with him.
He's one of those where, and some of the older generations don't do the email so very well. So I always knew when I was sending out the preseason survey by email that I was probably going to get a phone call back from Frank within about 10 minutes.
That's right.
Hey, I got your email.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a talker.
Well, anytime that my phone rings and it comes up Frank Orlando, I want to make sure and answer it. But I remember a couple years back when they had Ariel Powers and her ankle was an issue in the playoffs, and we'd been talking about it for a couple of weeks, whether or not she'd be able to play in a huge quarterfinal matchup against Goodrich. And I was on my way, actually, to the quarterfinal site, and my phone lit up, and it said Frank Orlando. And I thought, oh, this is weird. Maybe this is a late update. So I'm listening, and it was sounds from the bus because apparently I'd been butt dialed by the great Frank Orlando.
Hilarious.
So that's one of my favorite Frank stories, just because I told him about it later, and he just cracked up.
Oh, yeah. He's got one of the best sense of humors there
Absolutely.
are. Obviously was a great friend of Al Fracassa, the other living legend, who is now a few years retired from his football days and enjoying life. But Frank's one of the best. And we'll give credit to Monique Brown. She's the athletic director at Detroit Edison.
Sure.
And what she's been able to grow here in just a short period of time is amazing.
Well, and it all started with Rakia deciding to come there, and they kind of joined her after that, and she kind of set the standard. They had one of those that a lot of programs do when they're first growing. They had that trouble getting that first win in the playoffs, and then once they got their first win in the playoffs, it just seemed like it was over. They were so talented by that point. They went on the run for the last 2 years, and quite frankly, you look at how it stacks up, and there are a lot of talented teams in what's going to be Division II. That might be the strongest division. Class A might be the deepest as
Division
far as contenders. Division I, Division I, yeah. But there are a lot of those Division II teams that could challenge, but it certainly looks like it's going to be Edison's ball game in March.
Kira Jennings to the hole, opens up a 17-12 lead for Detroit Edison. Taking on the Yellow Jackets. Again, two teams, both back-to-back state champions coming in, now playing in the same division. So if they meet, it should be in the state quarterfinals. Edison on the run once again. Jennings gets it over to Rakia Jackson. Jackson from the top of the key. Count it. Gets
Shooter's
the bounce.
roll.
When you're that good,
you
get a lot of breaks. We're going to have a timeout on the floor. Timeout Country Day as they want to talk about it. They trail the Pioneers 20-12 here at the inaugural State Champs Winter Jam. I want to thank Jason Ross Jr., also an LTU student, for being a part of the broadcast all day today. So if you get a chance, you can check any Lawrence Tech game, and he's usually on the call doing the play-by-play. Some of the kids we're trying to help mentor and help grow so that they can have fantastic careers. You like Gus Johnson, you're going to like Jason Ross Jr. I see we've got some of Southfield's finest here joining us tonight, making sure that taking a little high school basketball and just making sure that everybody has a great time here inside the Riddler Fieldhouse. Again, we expect to have more people here in the Fieldhouse than really have ever been to watch games today. We've got some really good matchups later on today. And again, all of the broadcasts will be up on our YouTube page, statechampsnetwork.com, so that you can enjoy them for years to come. Maddie Novak down to the floor. They're going to call a foul. It'll be out of bounds for the Yellow Jackets. So that is the fourth foul on the Pioneers here early. Fifth, check that, fifth. They're going to call it on Ruby Whitehorn, the freshman guard. Adrian Folks lobs it down low, shot up, blocked. That's Jamia Elam, loses a handle. Rakia Jackson recovers, taking it up the floor for Edison. Again, the second-rated wing in the nation. She gets it out to Hageman. Her shot, no. Check that. It was Kira Jennings with the shot. Again, if we get some of the numbers wrong, it's not our fault that they're wearing red letters on red jerseys. What's up with that?
That's how I saw them the other day. They were wearing the same ones, and it's very squint-worthy sometimes.
I will say this, though, in talking about uniforms and something that's very cool, Cass Tech has a brand new set of black uniforms they've never worn before. They're wearing them here at the Jam at 5 o'clock, so that'll be sweet. Novak over to Folks. Folks to Novak. Chelsea Abulu with the ball. Back to Novak. Folks has got it up top being guarded. Breaks it inside the paint. Shot up and good. And it's just a 6-point game here as we're in the final minute of the first quarter. Hard foul on the other side. Kira Jennings going straight to the hole. She'll now walk to the charity stripe.
Foul on Country Day 44, Jeremiah Ewan.
So our man Jason is on the prowl. We know that Jasmine Powell's out in the hallway actually trying to see if she's going to be good to go.
Trying to loosen up the ankle, I would assume. I think that's what she did. When I just watching the play, she was trying to chase down a fast break from behind, and you could tell it was one of those where she pulled up lane pretty quickly.
Yeah. First one, no good. Second one, no good. Rebound put up, no good. Jackson tried to take a swat at. It's going to be knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Country Day basketball. 46 seconds left to go here in the first period.
Now,
so 16 fouls on Edison here in the early going.
They've got the depth to withstand that. If
Yes.
any one team
Oh,
does,
yeah.
they do. It looks like they've got some of the fab freshmen in, too.
But some bright spots definitely for the Country Day staff is that they can get to the line if they can finish. Long three attempt, no good. Rebound, put up was no good, but she'll go to the line. Chelsea, is it Abulu? Abulu, the 6-foot sophomore forward for Frank Orlando and his Country Day Yellow Jackets. First shot up, no good. Too strong. We're at 55. So again, Jasmine Powell not out here on the floor for Country Day. Injured her ankle last week. She's out in the hallway actually right now, kind of running up and down, see if she can get out of here. You know she wants to play, especially when you're going up against, arguably, I'll say it, the top team in the state, Detroit Edison, ranked as much as 4th nationally.
Sure. I think the one team maybe that could put in a claim is Saginaw Heritage, and they had a pretty classic game from what I remember last year. Yeah. But I don't know that Heritage would argue it too strenuously.
All right, last 10 seconds here of the first quarter. Edison trying to prep here for the last shot. Rakia Beal with the basketball. Up top, shot on the way by Brown, no good. And that is your first quarter. So an entertaining first quarter of basketball here between Country Day and Detroit Edison. 20-14 is your final, or is your score at the end of one. I am Lauren Plant. I am joined by Matt Mowry. Again, we're having a blast here as we get set. This is the first of 4 games here on the docket for the first annual State Champs Winter Jam. Fans are starting to pour in, which is good. Again, hey, the weather's not bad. Get yourself down here. Again, Mount Clemens and Westland John Glenn going up next. Mount Clemens has a really, really good freshman player, 6'4" Javon Hanna, who dropped 34 in the game that I went to against Troy Athens. Really, really good player. John Glenn just beat Wayne. We had Wayne ranked 2nd in Division I.
Right.
And it was a very entertaining game. The guard, Joe Moon, you want to come and see Joe Moon. He had 37 on Tuesday in that victory, and that's a big rivalry. If you know Wayne and Westland, they're almost the same community. So good game coming up at 3 o'clock. 5 o'clock, Cass Tech could be the number 1 team in Division I. We had them ranked 6th in our new rankings. They will be either 2nd or they will be 1st, and they have got all kinds of firepower. Joshua Harris was going bonkers against King on Tuesday. Big win for them on their home court. They're going to come in again with their brand new black unis. It'll be sweet. Ypsilanti, the Grizzlies, is who they're taking on. Again, Ypsilanti is not full yet in the fact that their number 1 point guard, who is a player from France, a sophomore, he's not eligible to January 22nd. He plays on the French national team. But right now, what they have on the floor, led by Markeith Browning, who came from Georgia to come back to Ypsilanti, which is where he grew up. He is a dynamite player. And again, they're a team that's just going to get after it. That should be a good one. Of course, our nightcap, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, the Class B state finalists, leading the way. Austin Braun the Grand Valley Brown guard, taking on against B. Artis White, another tremendous point guard for the Canton Chiefs. Canton hoping to make some real noise this year in the playoffs.
Lots of good players playing today. I mean, even if you just want to come see individual players that you've heard about but have not seen, today is a great opportunity for that.
And also, let's say you're a team that maybe might have Grand Rapids Catholic Central down the road. Come see them in person. This is your opportunity to see them down here in Southeast Michigan. So Detroit Edison currently leading Detroit Country today 20-14. We're just underway in the second quarter. Maddie Novak, who we will have a feature on State Champs coming up. She's being mentored by the great Rashad Phillips. Y'all remember that name? Number one scorer in UD history.
Yep.
He is working out of Florida, but he also was here a lot. He has personally taken Maddie under his wing, and she is going to Stetson, and he has done tremendous things for her game. We're kind of doing a story really on catching up with what Rashad is, what he was and what he is now, and then also him giving back.
Absolutely, and like I mentioned earlier, if you saw Maddie Novak as a freshman at Lake Orion, prolific scorer, and then she transferred to Country Day as a sophomore, so that she didn't play very much that season. And then last season she was really hampered by a hand and wrist injury on her shooting hand, so she really didn't have a coming out party until the semifinals against Kingsley when she just went off. And I saw her this summer, and she had a similar game in the AAU, and I said, where has that Maddie Novak been? And she explained about the wrist injury and kind of how it took her a while to trust it. So once she started feeling it, though, and feeling like she fit into the team, then that's a dangerous weapon to have out there on the wing.
Adrian Folks with the basketball. She's played well today so far. Loses the handle on that one. Good defense by the Pioneers. Edison going the other way. Outside. The three attempt. Count it. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Deja Tyson. It's kind of interesting. The two guards on this squad, Tyson and Shalana Wagner, don't get a whole lot of press because a lot of that pressure, rightfully so, goes to that girl, Rukia Jackson, who just lays it in. And Gabby Elliott obviously gets a lot of attention, and Demia Hageman being one of the top sophomores in the nation, those guys get the press. But Shalana Wagner and Deja Tyson are two quality guards. Both can fill it up from the outside. Yeah, and basically any team in the state.
Yeah. And here's what the situation we're at right now. Country Day obviously still having a trouble dealing with that press from Edison. That was good defense right there as Country Day had cut it down to single digits. It's now a 9-point lead for Edison. I think what Country Day is hoping in the fact that they can continue to draw fouls. They're in the bonus now here for the rest of the half. And so, again, only 2 fouls committed so far by the Yellow Jackets. So if Country Day can cause some fouls, because Edison's going to stay aggressive, they need to get to the line and they need to convert at the line.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, if my unofficial math is right, I believe that's 15 points already for Rukia Jackson. I'm trying to keep track, but I may have missed a bucket here or there. But she's almost single-handedly matched Country Day's scoring so far.
Yeah, I appreciate you keeping the book here, my friend, because I'm not doing that.
I won't say it's entirely accurate, but it's as close as I can get while I'm multitasking.
For me, as the organizer of this event, I'm constantly looking around, making sure that things are in handle as I'm doing the game. Yes, exactly. We've got a decent crowd here for the first game so far. We expect this place to be full, though, and if you're on the fence, if you're going to come down to check out the Winter Jam, get yourself down here. And when you do that, know that you support State Champs. If you like all the stuff that we do, we need you to be here and support when we do these kind of events because we want to do more of them.
And there she is. Jasmine Powell has checked into the game, and all of a sudden, it's very easy to break the pressure.
The 5'8" senior guard with the handles. She sure is. Her first shot up is short. Rukia Jackson, everything going the other way. Number 5 in the lane, pops.
And she's still in the game, so that doesn't – there's not a lot Powell can do to stop her personally, but she's going to help immensely if she's healthy, break that pressure.
So Matt Mallory is – and by the way, congratulations to now being a full-time member of the State Champs family. We appreciate you very much.
I feel taller now.
Yeah, exactly. Again, when we had Tom Markowski for all those years, and again, Tom, again, a living legend himself, and what he did for State Champs has always been amazing. He recommended Matt, and it just worked out that, he was able to make a decision for his own to want to join our family and really grow what we're doing here. And I would say that the amazing thing about girls basketball is that when you see a player like Rukia And, I mean, this is your beat.
Yeah.
You know, she's so polished. She's so smooth. And we're seeing more and more players with such talent at an early age. It's really, really a credit to coaching.
Well, and you look at this game, it's got so many of our top players. When we did the top players list, this has probably got 10 of them in this game, maybe. Maybe over-exaggerating that a little bit. But Rakia was number one with a bullet. And it's just because, as you said, she could do so many things. She could do that back to the basket. She can handle the ball. She can shoot. She can pass. And all of those things, not all of them came naturally. I mean, obviously, 6'3" is natural. That's you can't coach that. But she worked very hard to become a ball handler. She worked very hard on her shooting. All of those kind of things, you know that.
She loves that play right there, the kind of
lob.
The kind of catch and release. Misses on that one, came up short on that one. 27-18 is the score. Edison leading Country Day. Again, the battle of two back-to-back state champions who are now competing in the same division. They wanted to get an opportunity to go up against each other here in December so they can get a measure of where both of these programs are, as they have high hopes every year of going long in the state tournament. Jasmine Powell, who again has been hampered with an injury in the game. She's missed her first couple of shots, but she didn't have any warm-ups or anything, and basically hasn't played any basketball in a week, trying to rest that ankle. She looks pretty good out there right now. And so does that one. Number 5, Rakia Jackson. Flush from behind the long line.
You know when you set NBA Jam on easy and you light it up for 50? That's what she looks like out there sometimes.
She does.
Well, and talking about Jasmine Powell,
that's the way I play the game.
Always. And if somebody dunks on you, you just reset. It always happens. Jasmine Powell was a kid who came as a freshman, and a lot of times freshmen will get a little taste here and there. She came in as a freshman, and you got to remember, when the year before they'd had 2 very good point guards that were both going to end up going, very, very being highly sought after recruiting-wise. And Cameron Clegg ended up transferring to Wayne, and Jasmine Powell stepped right in. And when you can step right in and start at point guard on at a program like this one,
Edison, again, Rakia with the lamp, goes right up. She gets fouled. She'll go to the line. Third team foul on Country Day here in the first half, trying to extend their lead. They lead by 12, trying to make it 13. Rakia Jackson again with how many points so far?
I've got her with...
Misses that one.
Looks like 20.
So 20 of the 30 team points for the Pioneers here in the early going. And again, just par for the course if you watch any Edison girls basketball. Makes the second. So we'll give her 21 here in the first half. Country Day got to do all they can to stop her. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Again, they trail by 13 here. Jasmine Powell in the game, drives. They're going to call traveling on the young lady in the pink sneakers. Kira Jennings with the basketball, walks it up the floor for Edison. Jennings, a junior guard, is going to stop and pop. That one goes off the rim, rebounded by Jamia Elam. Quickly gets it out to Jasmine Powell. They're a whole different team when she's running the point.
Absolutely. They look like they're in sequence. They're in
yes.
rhythm.
Nice pass inside. Adrian Folks delivers. The senior with the bucket, 31-20, an 11-point Edison lead. Rakia Jackson quickly up the floor. Flips it to the left to Jennings, back to Jackson up top. Taking a little time off the clock, looking for something to set up. Rakia's gonna launch. Misses, rebound, Powell. Ball knocked away, she picks it back up. She's gonna take it the length of the court. Ooh, hit hard as she goes under the bucket. Was that Elam? Yeah, so Elam with the foul. Again, 10th team foul on Edison here in the first half. Powell went down hard, but popped up pretty quickly. She's at the strike.
I think it was Jennings, maybe.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm looking at.
You're looking at the wrong roster.
Yeah, the wrong
That's all
roster.
right.
That happens.
Okay.
It's allowed. Appreciate you keeping me honest here.
No problem.
My
No
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, Jasmine Powell has been, since her freshman year, she's ultra athletic. She's so quick and fast. The thing that she's really improved on are all of the things like, free throw shooting, shooting the ball from the outside. She's always been able to create shots for her teammates, but she can create shots for herself. She just makes them so much more dynamic.
She sure does. Almost created a turnover right there. Edison regains control. We're going to have a foul. I'll check that. They're going to call it on.
Offensive foul.
Yeah, an offensive foul. I thought maybe Novak was going to be caught there for reaching in, but instead they call it on Jennings. And again, Edison wearing those difficult uniforms to try to pick up the numbers here. So be patient with us if somehow I give you the wrong call. We'll make sure we get it right. Matt Maury's here to keep me honest. Turnover by the Yellow Jackets. Quickly, Edison going the other way. Strong to the hoop. Credit the bucket to Shalana Wagner, the junior guard. Length of just over the timeline. Powell trying to hit folks in stride underneath the bucket. That one goes out of bounds. Edison with the basketball again and a 11-point lead. 3 minutes to go here in the half. We're going to call traveling on Rakia. You don't see that very often.
I don't think that last bucket was Wagner. I think Wagner's on the bench. Yeah, that was Ruby Whitehorn, I'm pretty sure. She is one of those fab freshmen that we've talked about. That she's probably the most talented of the incoming freshmen, along with Rakia Beal. They're both very, very talented. They have a separate team they're running this year, the black team.
Okay.
And then for big games like this, they bring up those freshmen to play too. But yeah, 23 and 24 look very similar on those jerseys. But she's just she's a little taller than Shalana is.
Okay. I mean, the headbands, everything, same hair length.
All the same, yep. Yeah, the difference
is
is
they were cloned out there.
The difference is 5'7" versus 6
well,
foot.
Well, yeah, that is a difference.
And when you've got
my
a
depth
6
perception
foot,
from up here up high is not what I'd like it to be. Novak at the line, we know that. Makes it a 10-point game. 2:43 left to go here in the first half at the inaugural State Champs Winter Jam. Detroit Edison and Detroit Country Day. Once again, I'm Lauren Plant, joined by Matt Maury here. For our next game, I'll be joined by Scott Bernstein. We'll have the call for that one. TJ Kelly will have the 5 o'clock between Cass and Ypsilanti. And Dan Young will join me for the color commentary for the Canton Grand Rapids Catholic Central game. That is Rakia Jackson who hit that one.
That was, yes. She's distinctive. She's easier picked out.
I've got her on lockdown. Novak back over to Folks. Folks has it taken away by Jennings. Jennings bounce pass to Jackson, back to Jennings off the window. No, Jackson the recovery and the putback. How many points is she at now? She's approaching the 30 mark here in the first half.
I was told there would be no math.
Sorry.
20.
Alana Sierra in the game now for Country Day. Novak took a shot to the face.
25 unofficially.
25 unofficially.
Yeah.
Folks throws up the J. Didn't hit anything. Ball hits the out-of-bounds line. It's going to be Edison basketball going the other way. So as soon as Country Day starts to make a little bit of noise, Edison quickly amps up the D and then gets running going the other way. And that's the thing. They can beat you no matter what style you play. So they're going to slow it down here with 1:30 left to go here in the first half. But again, right inside, lob to Jackson. Catch and release. Give her another one.
But and you hate to say it, but sometimes when they get big leads on teams, as you saw with Huron, there can be some complacency, especially if you're putting in some of the younger kids to try to get them a taste. So all of a sudden, a 25-point lead becomes an 18-point lead, and sometimes those things are a little cosmetic. But sometimes there is a little bit of a letdown too, and if they keep their foot on the gas like they are right now with that Ruby Whitehorn layup, they can blow teams out.
Ruby Whitehorn, a freshman, one of the very talented freshmen here.
Probably one of the top two in the state. Yeah, with Maya Petticord from Ypsi Arbor Prep. Those two are going to be going at it for years to come.
We're in the final minute of the first half now. Folks, down low, digs it into Elam. She misses. Rebound, Edison. Rakia Jackson with the basketball, taking it up, swings it right side. 3 attempt put up by the Pioneers, no good. That was Jennings. They get it back, do it again on the other side. This time, count it.
That was Whitehorn again, it looked like. And 2 Country Day players a little slow to come back down the court. It looked like Elam maybe got a knee in the back, and Folks was knocked down on the pass. So it was essentially a 5-on-3 there.
Long 3 attempt, no good. Final 10 seconds. We've got a timeout on the floor. 6 seconds left to go here in the first half. Some of the music that you will enjoy if you do hear it within the broadcast is my boy TJ Monty. TJ Monty Productions here all day providing the jams. Keeping it live, keeping it hype all day.
Into the game, Country Day 31, Demi Baston.
Looks like we already got some of the teams getting set to play in our next competition already here. Checking out a little action. Again, just one girls game on the docket here. Long 3 attempt, no good. That's going to run out the clock, and that is going to end the first half. So, after your first 2 quarters of play here in the first game of the State Champs Winter Jam, Detroit Edison leads Country Day 45-24. Let's get a quick, while we wait for an interview with the coach, a quick summation of what took place so far.
Well, obviously the pressure of Edison was really getting to Country Day in the first quarter, less so in the second quarter once Powell came in. She really settled them down, and they were able to get some offensive clicking. But it's really, once you get in a hole against Edison, as long as they keep their foot on the gas, it's hard to dig out of that hole.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So Jason Ross getting sent to talk with Monique Brown, the head coach over from Detroit Edison, to get some film on her game plan. So if we're ready to go, let's send it to Jason.
Coach, the 2-3 zone and the press really seemed to be effective throughout the half there. Why do you think it was so disruptive defense?
Well, I think they do not have probably the best ball handler, Jasmine Powell. So we kind of took a little advantage of that, got in foul trouble, so we had to get back into that 2-3.
How do you keep up the intensity and not get complacent going into the second half?
Go in there and fuss a little bit, definitely, and just tell them we're losing. So that's kind of how we kind of do it.
What is that message, though, that you think you'll give them going into the locker room there?
Just tell them, don't let up. The other day we had a 20-point lead, and we let a team kind of creep back in, so we're not going to let up today.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jason, that is Monique Brown, the head coach at Detroit Edison. She's exactly right. 20-point lead against Huron the other day. They let up. Huron came back into it, and again, almost pulled off what would have been a major upset.
Monumental
upset. But Edison was able to get it done when it was necessary. So,
and I think you're going to see that there may be ebbs and flows like that for them this season. And as you said, Monique's got the plan where, as she said, she was going to go in the locker room and fuss a little bit. And when you've got to kind of keep your team motivated to be, on the top tier of how they're playing, sometimes that happens with a team that's as talented as this one is, as deep as this one is.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a timeout. The second half will be coming up in just about 8 minutes or so. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the second half of Edison and Country Day. Stick with us. The first annual State Champs Winter Jam is presented by the Horatio Williams Foundation, Leadership for Life. The Winter Jam is also brought to you in part by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. More members than any other basketball coaches association in the country. And Inside Prep Sports.
Hi, my name is Horatio Williams from the Horatio Williams Foundation. So our goal is to make sure we have a safe haven in the community for all kids throughout the state of Michigan, which we provide several different programs, academic programs, ACT, SAT testing, robotics, financial literacy, reading, writing for our younger kids. We have a culinary cooking class. All our programs are free. If a kid want to come and learn, we're here to provide that help for them.
I admit it, I love working with money, negotiating, and making big decisions. That's why I'm majoring in finance and economics at Lawrence Tech. What's truly amazing about the education here is the small class sizes that give me easy access to my professors who truly care about my future. They even helped me get a great internship. And I was able to fulfill my lifelong dream of playing college golf. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
To me, Horatio has done a phenomenal job. And seeing all these coaches and people here, I think it's great for the city of Detroit. And my hat off to Horatio and his group, because I'm trying to drag me down here for a few years, and it's even neater than I thought it was going to be. So I'm really impressed.
Coach, we appreciate what you share. We appreciate all you're doing, and good luck in the future. Okay? Thanks a lot. All right, we'll see you soon. Great. Hello, social media. It's Lindsey Helson here with the great Coach Jim Harbaugh. Coach Harbaugh, you spent the entire evening down in Detroit, Michigan at the Horatio Williams Foundation. Talk about your commitment to the foundation. You've been coming here for years. Tell us about that.
That's a great foundation. Horatio does a great job of connecting people. Everything that's the most important things is what Horatio Williams has always been about.
Sure.
And he's a great man in his community.
Sure.
It's bringing athletics to bringing a community closer together.
Right.
I'm all about it.
Absolutely. Lindsey Helson here representing Horatio Williams Foundation and Sports Psychology Solutions with Coach Mark D'Antonio from Michigan State. Coach, you've been participating in the Horatio Williams Clinic since its inception. Can you tell me why it's a priority for you, and why do you bring your staff down every year?
You know, we started coming down here, I don't know, maybe 7-8 years ago or more. And, you know, we come down here to try and give back a little bit. Horatio Foundation does a great job, I think, representing the city of Detroit and doing things for young people. So we want to be a part of that, and just especially with the youth football, not just high school football. So it's a way to sort of extend ourselves a little bit and give back, and anything we can do to help in that area, we do.
I'm happy to be here with my coach, Coach Barnes, a great friend. Happy to be able to support him over the years with his playwright camps and all these things he's had going on. Coach has a resume that we don't have time to read, but we're going to try to get a few things in from coaching Eastern Michigan basketball, the illustrious historic Harlem Globetrotters, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Washington Wizards, and we can go on and on. But we have Coach out here tonight. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. So we're here at the Horatio Williams Foundation Coaches Forum. Talk about how important something like this is to bring someone of your caliber out, and for everyone else that's coming out too.
Well, I think it's important that coaches, young or old, continue to learn and develop. You know, it's all about the game and learning how to deal with not just the game, but with young people.
Right.
I think today I have a motto that still applies to today. Teach, create, and motivate.
Coaching basketball is a rewarding and challenging pursuit, but you don't have to do it alone. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan are here to support you.
BCAM is the largest coaches association in the country with nearly 6,000 members representing college, high school, and middle school ranks. Members have access to drills, clinics, job opportunities, and it's the only way to vote for our annual awards, including Mr. and Miss Basketball.
Join today by visiting bcam.org, because better coaching always matters.
You ready, Darius?
Let's do it. Anybody want an autograph?
Autograph? We're here for the stuffed crust pizza.
Stuffed crust pizza? Hey, who do you think you are? End of the line, pal.
Flavor fanatics love stuffing their faces with our stuffed flavored crust. Get one for only $2 more on any large original round pizza.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Southfield truly is the ideal place to live, work, and play.
Well, it's a very exciting time in the city of Southfield. Great neighborhoods, great city services, and Fortune 500 companies. Southfield has something for everyone.
Recognized as Michigan's premier business address, home to world-class educational institutions, voted one of the nation's most livable metro area suburbs.
Southfield is the center of it all.
Since the dawn of man, storytelling has been the most effective and engaging means of communication. Whether gathered around the warm glow of a fireplace or the family television set, A compelling story has always moved people to action. At Yellow Flag Productions, the Emmy-winning storytellers behind our television programs are now helping clients create content that emphasizes their people and passions. Let us tell your story and share it with the world.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and today I'm here to change your outlook on becoming a referee. Sometimes being a referee can be hard work, but I'm here to tell you that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Just think of the impact you could have on the younger generation, the laughs you could share, and the lives you could change. There's an unofficiated game that needs you.
Companies need to reduce risk and protect assets with many levels of corporate intelligence gathering. Mackinac Partners business intelligence, due diligence, investigations, and corporate security practice can help businesses and investment firms avoid or mitigate risks. Mackinac Partners services are performed by experienced former Secret Service and FBI personnel that can identify vulnerabilities and respond to financial concerns, reputational issues, and cyber threats. Make informed decisions with Mackinac Partners. The first annual State Champs Winter Jam is presented by the Horatio Williams Foundation, Leadership for Life. The Winter Jam is also brought to you in part by
Head coach
Lawrence
Frank Orlando.
Technological
Frank,
University,
what did you tell
where
your team
Blue
at
Devils
halftime, though?
dare. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. More members than any other basketball coaches association in the country.
You have to slow it down and run a play. And if it takes 15, 30 seconds, it's good.
Thank you, Frank. I'll let you get back to your team here. Thanks. Lauren, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Jason. So we didn't get an opportunity to. We got kind of caught there to get Frank before that, but he knows what he's telling his team. He knows that they got to get out there, and with Jasmine now back on the floor, that's big. Country Day's got to Edison has to fight off that complacency, and they've got a big lead here, 45-24 as we start the second half. But again, we're going to see a little bit of the mettle of the Yellow Jackets. They are coming off a loss. They had a loss last Saturday, but against a very good team. Talk about that one.
Well, and that was the one where Jasmine went out in the first half and was injured, and Columbus Northland, Columbus Northland from Ohio is a very capable opponent, and they were able to take advantage of that by pressuring the younger Yellow Jackets and keeping them out of rhythm and keeping them out of sync and not allowing them to feel comfortable at any point in time in that game. It never seemed like after Powell went out there was a point at which Country Day kind of settled it down and scored a couple buckets in a row. I think if they'd done that it might have been a little different, but it seemed like they were frazzled for the rest of the game.
Folks gets a bucket here to kind of start off the second half for us. And again, the story right now, Rakia Jackson, number 5 for Detroit Edison, 27 points in the first half. Scott Bernstein, our colleague, came over and said, I believe, did he talk to you?
Yes.
What did he
15
say?
15 in a row, I believe.
Within like a 4-minute time span. Just amazing. And again, we're talking number 5 on the floor for Edison. You could see her on your screen there. She is the second-rated wing in the nation. Going to Mississippi State, the national champions, she is by far the front runner for Miss Basketball. But again, it's a vote. It's an award that has to be voted by the coaches. We're glad we have a broadcast here that coaches can watch. You know what I mean? If you're a coach out there, you're a part of B-Camp, check this out. You need to watch these broadcasts and see just what kind of a dominant player Rakia Jackson is all game, not just in some highlight package.
Sure, and unfortunately or fortunately, I guess, those votes end up being just that. They're votes. They're political horse races, and sometimes other people get, if it's based on geography or if it's based on, I've seen this player a bunch because they're in my conference. Yeah. Sometimes that is a factor in the races.
So bucket by Demaya Hageman, the sophomore guard. She's going to be a real force for them for the next few years. There's no question about it. Jasmine Powell on the other side, too strong, rebounded by Edison.
Well, as Coach Orlando was saying in the halftime break there, what he told his team was just slow it down.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if get a good shot. Doesn't matter if it's an instantaneous shot. They can't at this point feel like they need to hurry up and score fast because there are no 21-point plays. You're not going to get it all back all at once.
Right.
You need to be methodical and chip away at this. Now, time is a factor because obviously, you know, you only have a limited amount of time to actually make that comeback, but they are going to need to be methodical about it and try to, you know, peel 5 points off here, peel 6 points off there. But they can't do that if they're, you know, playing too fast.
So Edison opening up a 51-26 lead here. We are just a minute and a half into the third quarter at the state champs Winter Jam. You are seeing one of the top teams in the country in the Pioneers showing how they do it. Country Day with everything they can try to deal with to try to stop Rakia Jackson, who has been the star in this one, and see if they can climb back in it. Powell hampered with an injury, stops and hits from the top there, fires and fills it for 3. So good bucket by Powell. We'll see if she gets going. Putting it on the floor, Alana Sierra, shot no good. Maddie Novak the ball. Ball gets knocked away again. Pioneers scrap for it. She's got it on the floor. Timeout called by Monique Brown, the head coach for Detroit Edison.
And that's one of those two where you see that it looked like Country Day had a clear possession and a potential, at least, if they could have gotten the ball to Powell. But Edison just gets a hand in there and pokes it away and makes it a kind of a loose ball situation. And not only does it stop that, but it looks like he gets possession back for them as well. And those are the little things that defensively they can still, you know, brush up on in a game like this and make sure they're doing the little things to keep themselves involved in this game first off, and to, you know, keep improving.
We're having a great time here at the Ridler Fieldhouse on the campus of Lawrence Technological University. My name is Lauren Plant. Matt Mowry here, our brand new full-time guy here, managing editor, head writer for StateChampsNetwork.com. And we'll have game write-ups on all of these games. Scott Bernstein handling the deal for this one. Matt will take the next game. Scott will do the third. Matt will do the fourth. We'll just kind of rotate it that way. Again, we appreciate TJ Kelly, Scott Bernstein, and Dan Young all being here, who will provide their color commentary for the rest of the afternoon. And Matt here for this one. The girls is his beat. He does the rankings for the teams. And again, when you're talking about the top teams in the state, there really is Edison, maybe Heritage. Who do you feel are the next
Heritage is probably right behind
3?
them. The separation between Heritage and Edison is probably just depth.
Okay.
Heritage has their big 3 with Joyner and Strickland Gills and Mallory McCartney, who's going to Ferris. 3, you know, college-bound players, and then after that, it drops off a little bit on their roster, but in that depth is going to be a factor, you know, not in every game certainly, but in a game against a team like Edison. And then after that, you probably got Wayne Memorial. You've got, you know, and speaking of Wayne Memorial, we just saw Jarvis Walker. He's down in the crowd here, right in front of us.
Yep.
You've got a number of Division I teams that could be right there with Heritage. East Lansing lost a ton, and they've had some quality wins already. They beat a pretty good Williamston squad. They beat a DeWitt squad that they beat twice last year and handed DeWitt their only 2 losses last year. They beat Muskegon. Muskegon's going to be in it. East Kentwood's probably going to be in there. So you've got some teams, but you've got, you know, it's a deeper roster in Division I probably this year than it has been maybe in the last couple. You know, there's not any clear cut. I think Heritage is probably the favorite, but I don't think it would surprise anybody if somebody else won it this year.
Deja Tyson hits both from the line, the talented junior guard, opening up a 53-29 lead for the Edison Pioneers. Jasmine Powell with the rock at the top, drives the lane, count it. So again, Powell did not start this game, joined about midway through the second quarter. And it's her energy and her effort here out on the court that is making a difference.
Yeah, and you can tell they're a different team when she's out here. They're a much more relaxed team. They're a much more in sync team. And really, since she's come back on the floor, it doesn't look like Edison is really, I mean, if there's been any pressure, it's been token pressure. They haven't really been going after the ball handlers because they know she can break that pressure. And also the big lead probably contributes to that a little bit. But it's one of those where if they were to go after her, she's able to break that single-handedly.
So Powell at the line. She is a senior, stands at 5'8", runs the offense for Country Day. And it was really Country Day losing a really talented point guard that they had for 4 years last year that, again, they could really use some energy like that for this particular team. And when you lose somebody that stirs the drink like that, it's sometimes there's a maturation process for everybody else to kind of put the ball in somebody else's hands.
Sure, and when Kayla Webb came in, she was, another one in the situation like Powell where she started off as a freshman. Here are the keys to the franchise, essentially. You run the show.
Yep.
And then when Powell came in, she was a good enough ball handler that they had them kind of running the 1 and the 2, and it moved Kayla off the ball a little bit. She certainly could still handle the point when she needed to, but primarily Powell became their primary ball handler over the next couple of years. That's pretty good when you can move a Division I point guard off the ball to make room for a kid like that. And like I said earlier, they had Camry Clegg on campus Kayla Webb's freshman year too.
Yeah.
She was a backup coming off the bench, and she ended up being the runner-up for Miss Basketball last year. They've had so much talent over the years.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, this is probably one of those teams that is not quite as deep. There were years sometimes where there were kids off Country Day's bench who were getting Division I scholarships, it seemed like. And now those tables have turned, and that's kind of the Edison thing where you'll see somebody who's the 4th or 5th option maybe get a D1 scholarship.
Novak in the lane, makes it a 55-34 game. Country Day trying to climb back in this one. Down 22 right now. Jasmine Powell taking a spell. Folks is going to do the majority of the ball handling. Novak on the floor, hands it over to Folks. Folks, dribble drive inside. Shot on the way is good. Gets the roll. Will go to the line for the and one.
So this is where those two, Novak and Folks, really got tired out last week trying to be the primary ball handlers as well as the primary scorers. They can do it in spurts like this, I think, where if Powell needs a blow, they can take over the ball handling. But you're looking at a couple of kids who that's not necessarily their primary skill. They can do it, but it's not necessarily the top of the page of what you think of, when you think of either Maddie Novak or Adrian Folks, who are both, wings or forwards.
Right. So Folks gets the bucket at the line, completes the three-point play. Rakia Jackson inside has that one blocked. Nice job there by, was it Brown?
Jemiah Elam, I believe.
Oh, okay, Elam.
Yep. She was a kid who started her career out at West Bloomfield and then showed up the same time as Maddie Novak and hasn't really gotten a chance to play with as much talent as they had in the front court. They had, Maxine Moore last year who went to Western, who was kind of that same position.
Yes.
And so when you've got that talented of a front court, she had to kind of wait her turn as you do at Country Day, and now it's kind of her turn.
So 4th team foul called on the Pioneers there. Maddie Novak was in the active shooting. She'll go to the line for 2. Trying to climb back in this one. Now down just 18. Check that, 17. So this is about the point on Tuesday when Ann Arbor Huron started making a little noise, and we're able to get it within single digits. So we'll see if Edison can keep up the energy and if they can keep scoring. Rakia Jackson has been on fire all game. Fires up another one. Nothing but bottom. Rakia Jackson.
I don't know how you defend that, even if you are 5'11", 6 foot. She's got that little, she threatens you with a jab step like she's going to go past you, and then she just does a little step back, and there's no way you can block that.
Tried to go strong one-handed, created the turnover there, unable to finish at the other end. Where's her point total as of now, unofficially?
Unofficially, I've got her for 30. I think that was,
so just her first bucket she had. First bucket here in the second half, so they held her scoreless for the first 6 minutes of the third. She's pretty much played the entire game. Ball up top to Jemiah Elam. Now it's Novak across the timeline. Dribbling left. Matched up against Hageman.
No fouls guy has showed
Yeah.
up. He's in the stands.
Novak looking to go inside. She does. She finds Folks. Ball almost knocked away. It is.
Oh.
Kia Jackson starts the outlet the other way. 2 passes. Bucket on the other end. That's Pioneer basketball. And I don't have 15 on my roster, so I'm not sure exactly who's scoring that. So.
Is she on the other one?
Yeah, no, this is the same one I got from that. So, good job on 15 there. I don't know who it is. I'm sure we'll get plenty of YouTube comments telling us exactly who it is. Find out who 15 is for Edison. I got Bernstein on the trail because there it is again.
And that's Ruby Whitehorn.
That's
Whitehorn. That's you see her in the open floor, and she's got those long strides. 6-footer who's going to play point guard. Once she fills out, she's going to be hard to keep in front of. When especially when you're a 5'8", 5'9" high school point guard. She can shoot over you. She can pass over your head, and she's long reach, playing the top of the zone like she is right there. It's going to be hard to pass around her too.
I'm going to say she's a freshman. That's why I probably don't have her on my roster.
I would be willing to bet she's one of the kids that came up from the Black Squad.
Absolutely. Yes. Getting a chance to play. And what we're saying is there is actually a varsity black team. They call it actually a freshman varsity team,
right.
All freshmen for Edison who compete as well as their regular squad.
Sure.
So
yeah, and I saw
not playing JV schedules.
No, they're playing a varsity schedule.
And
they're playing a hard varsity schedule. Yeah. I saw them take on, I can't remember if it was Hazlitt or Holt, but one of the Lansing area schools, Class A school, and they beat them by 3 or 4.
Yeah, there you go. So it's a great thing. When you're that deep, give those freshmen an opportunity to play at the highest level. And in situations like this, they're going to come up and play. Well, so Jackson took one of her few spells. She's actually going to probably get back in the game here in just a little bit.
Is that or she's going to join the Country Day bench as she's walking down that way?
I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but for Country Day, they're just happy she's over there and not on the floor.
Foul on Edison for Ariel Jenkins.
Maddie Novak at the line converts. It's a 20-point ball game. 20 seconds left here in the third quarter.
I think unofficially that's 16 points for Novak. A lot of them, looks like 2, 4, 6, 11 of them have come from the free throw line. She's always had a very good stroke from the free throw line, even as a freshman when she would take it hard to the bucket in the OAA Red at Lake Orion. She was able to get to the line and then convert.
Madison Wardell.
Yep, another one of those freshmen.
15. Yep. 6-foot wing.
Foul on Detroit Country Day, number 44, Jamia Elam.
So we're giving her credit.
That was 5 on Elam there. That's going to be
okay.
Now they're down to just one of the bigs to try to hold off that big front line of Edison's.
Yeah. It's still another quarter to go.
Yeah.
Demai Hagman hits the first.
As we mentioned, that depth is certainly a problem. That ended up happening repeatedly. I think 3 players fouled out of that Northland game for
Hageman picks off the inbound pass, almost converts the 2-for-1. Edison just on fire, rolling. This team is as good as anybody, ranked one of the top 5 in the nation. They lead it 64-42, and Jason Ross Jr., our third member of our team, has got something he wants to tell us that's very interesting about this particular matchup.
Guys, Country Day down 22 after 3. In an unfamiliar position, certainly a program that has won 22 consecutive district and regional championships. Frank Orlando coming off his 13th state title, back-to-back state titles. And I asked Maddie Novak before this one, does the fact that Edison is now in your division change at all your approach to this one? And she said, no, we just have to work 10 times harder. A player that has certainly worked hard in this one, despite not starting the game, is Jasmine Powell, the Minnesota commit, who's following the footsteps of Destiny Pitts, who's coming off a Big Ten Freshman of the Year campaign with Minnesota. And one lesson, the two have a great relationship. So I asked Jasmine, what's the key lesson that sticks out to you from Destiny? And she told me that work hard in any situation, just continue to work and work and work. She'll certainly have to continue to work hard as they are down 22 going into this fourth quarter. Guys.
Thank you very much, Jason. Absolutely following in the footsteps of Destiny Pitts, right?
Yes.
And going to Minnesota.
Yep. Lindsay Whalen, the WNBA star, is the new coach there. And
right.
They have it going right now. And Destiny Pitts was another one, kind of like Rikia is now,
yes.
that she could turn it on in flashes when she was in high school. And you almost knew that no matter how good she looked, she was probably going to be almost better at that next level when she was able to play kind of a more comfortable position for her.
Addie Novak with the strong move to the bucket, gets it to go off the window. She'll go to the line. What's her point total at this point?
I had her for 16, but again, those are highly unofficial.
That's all right.
I can't talk in.
I know. It's
right
been hard.
Yeah, it's
We're walking
not my
and
forte.
chewing gum
yeah.
up here. It's all good.
Yeah, gum would be out of the question at this point.
Yeah. So she might get to the 20-point mark before it's all said and done. We'll be having a feature on Maddie Novak and her mentoring from Rashad Phillips, the former UAD great and high school basketball star here from the state of Michigan. And that will be coming up when State Champs gets back on the air. State Champs, the original high school sports show, should be back Sunday, January 13th. And for a whole nother calendar year of great high school sports. We've got all the winter sports covered. You can watch State Champs every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. I want to give a shout out to TJ Monty Productions and his group, who is providing all the live entertainment for the first ever State Champs Winter Jam. We're just getting started here too. We've got 3 more games following this one. I will not have a voice by the end of the night, but that's all right. And we know that coming up next, in fact, the teams are here. We're going to be starting at 3 o'clock, so we'll have a nice break before we get to our next contest. But that will be the boys taking over Mount Clemens and Westland John Glenn. Rakia Jackson, the catch, release, the bucket. She will go to the line.
It's that lob pass again. You just put it up there, and no one else is going to catch that.
She's having a good time, too. She's having fun.
It's like they tell quarterbacks on the fade route. You put it up there where only your receiver can catch it. Well, no one else is going to jump up and out-jump her for that ball. She's going to catch it or it's going to go out of bounds.
And again, with the fact that Elam on the bench now for Country Day with 5 fouls, it's going to make it even more difficult. Not a lot of bigs left in the Yellow Jacket arsenal there.
Yeah, it clears out the lane considerably for her to operate. Well, and that was the thing kind of that Afrocentric was able to do. They were really able to pack in the half-court defense, and they had a 6'3" and a 6'1", and when you can jump with her, few people can, but when you can, that really limits, the ability for her to, just out-jump people essentially for balls, and so they were able to limit her quite a bit on getting points in the paint.
Well, and the fact that Country Day is in the bonus, I like the strategy by Frank Orlando and his coaching staff. Let's go. Let's be aggressive. Let's put the ball in our scorers' hands. So you're going to see Novak go strong and get to the line. You're going to see Powell go strong and get to the line. And, folks, that is how they can hopefully claw themselves back into this game.
All 3 of them Division I bound players. Yes. Folks is going to Indiana State. And interesting, Indiana State has really made some headway in this state over the last year or so, really picking up quite a few commits from this area.
Okay.
Oakland County specifically, they've got, I think, 3 or 4 kids that are either there already or on the way there.
The Larry Bird School, Indiana State. Yeah. I like
the Sycamores.
Okay. Remember, they had those powder blue jerseys when he went up against Magic in the 79 National Championship.
I think they may have darkened their color scheme. I think their color scheme is a little bit more like Lawrence Tech now, where it's white and a little more electric blue.
Got it. Powell off the mark. Edison running the other way. Hageman, the lob to Jackson off the window. Count it. Well, it's almost like you feel she could throw it up there and she could just grab it and bring it down. Just jam.
I'm waiting for that day, yes.
Exactly. I would love that.
I used to joke with Ariel Power, speaking of another old Country Day star who went on to Michigan State and then went in early to the WNBA draft, first kid to ever do that.
Right.
She said she could do it with a tennis ball, and she was kind of waiting to have an opportunity in a game to do that. She was another one of those pogo stick jumpers, too, that probably you were not going to out-jump her, and she had a heck of a career at Michigan State, and then went on to the WNBA, and I believe she's playing, I think, in Europe now.
So Edison leading by 24 here in the first ever State Champs Winter Jam. Again, arguably the #1 team in the state of Michigan, arguably one of the #1 teams in the Midwest, one of the top teams in the entire country. Really playing solid basketball here as we get towards the Christmas time of year. Again, a takeaway. This is Hageman, strong to the hoop, pass Powell, count it.
Little poke check there to use the hockey terminology.
That's it. Pick the pocket.
Yep. Well, that's you see right here the ability that Edison has to do. They have so many bodies they can throw at one person. Last time down it was Hageman on Powell. This time down it's Wagner on Powell, and both of them can, so you can give a defender a spell where they've got her, but it's not going to totally gas them. Turnover here.
Yep, traveling violation there. Trying to read the number of it. Looks like that was Shalana Wagner, if I got the number right.
24?
Yep. There it is.
That
Again, wearing those very deceptive uniforms in terms of trying to read the numbers. We're up top. We're up. We got the bird's eye view of this one here inside the Riddler Fieldhouse. So your camera angle is our angle.
It's going to be the eye test that they give you next time they go to the eye doctor. Can you read these numbers? No. You need glasses.
Yeah.
I do.
73-47. Novak goes from downtown. Too strong. Oof. Powell with a spirited effort doesn't get it. Who does? Jackson. She's going to stop from the elbow.
Pulls up.
No good. Ball knocked out of bounds. So Wagner not able to corral it, the 5'7" junior. And it'll be Jasmine Powell taking it out of bounds for the Yellow Jackets. Powell, Folks, and Novak pretty much on the floor the entire time. Powell's going to get a spell here again, trying to nurse an injured ankle. So Alana Sierra, the freshman, coming in to get some key playing time and some key experience against some really, really good competition.
Well, and obviously, as was the case last week, once Powell twisted that ankle, there's no point in bringing her back into that game. It's a meaningless game against not even an in-state opponent.
Right.
As frankly is this one. This one's a showcase game. I mean, it's right now you don't certainly, if you're Frank Orlando, want to do anything to injure Jasmine Powell for the rest of the season. They were bringing in an entire new squad comes over the boards in hockey terms.
Yeah, this is what you call wholesale changes.
Line change.
So credit to the Pioneers in this starting unit. 73 points here with 3:50 left to go in the game. Rikia Jackson, what's going to be her unofficial stat line for this contest? More math. Take your time. So we got a whole
I think 35. I think matching her
her
total from the other night. But again, unofficial.
It's probably going to be her average by the season's done.
Yeah.
Long ball put up by Jennings, no good. Country Day has it going the other way, trying to finish strong here. Novak, the step back three.
But we were mentioning that when we were talking about. So
she's in triple digits.
Yep, we were talking about the Miss Basketball candidates.
Yep.
That sometimes being on a very good and balanced team can be a detriment.
Big bucket there by Deja Brown. Nice form. Little catch and shoot there from the deep corner. She's a junior guard. Folks strong, too strong. Nice putback by Novak. So Novak having a nice game overall here for the Yellow Jackets. Definitely the bright spot, and Jasmine Powell being able to get out and give a spirited effort was strong good.
And Adrienne Folks is always steady up front. She's going to give you her points and rebounds, and it won't be. She doesn't dazzle necessarily, and you don't sometimes notice all the work that she puts in down low, but she's always just steady.
So we're down within under 2.5 minutes left to go here in the first ever State Champs Winter Jam, the first ball game in our contest. Edison with a second unit in there now, still running the floor effectively. That was Whitehorn who missed that particular bucket. Following the game, we should be able to hopefully have Jason get a conversation with Rakia Jackson. That's the player we're going to try to see if he can grab. I'm going to jet out of here because I'm going to present the trophy to Monique Brown, the head coach at Country Day. So I will grab the PA mic and address the crowd briefly. And we've got kind of a nice little, it's kind of an ABA-style trophy here. It's got the state champs colors, the red, white, and blue. And so we present a nice little token for the champion of each game here in this one. But again, we appreciate both teams being here and taking a chance and being a part of what we're trying to do here. Again, always trying to raise the awareness of Lawrence Tech. They have a great men's and women's basketball program here, and we want to have high school families be in the seats, kind of see what the environment's here, and obviously have an opportunity for the families to see what this great university has to offer. So Jason Steckett, yep, we just heard him a moment ago doing his test, and he's got one thing he would like to say, so let's send it down to Jason right now.
Test, 1, 2. Hey, Kevin, test. 1, 2, 1, 2, test.
Yep,
audio testing.
We hear you,
1,
brother.
2. Hey, Kevin,
why don't
audio.
you say what you want to say? He doesn't have to be on
Michigan,
camera.
One of the top players in the country. Test. audio. 1, 2.
Let's pot him down. It's all good. Jason Ross Jr., one of the fine students here at Lawrence, actually came here because he was going to get an opportunity to do a lot of play-by-play. So he is handling the majority of that for all the sports here. You can check him out at ltuathletics.com. 26 sports soon to be offered here at Lawrence Tech. Track and field starts this spring, which is really cool. And, in fact, there are more sports that are going to be offered here than there is at Michigan State.
There you go.
So this is quickly becoming a sports haven here in the center of it all, Southfield, Michigan, on Northwestern and 10 Mile. If you are considering a university, again, the academics here are beyond reproach. They are fantastic. They have one of the highest rate of return on investments in the country. So that means the money that you pay to go here means you get that money faster back when you graduate. So it is a wonderful university. They have blue and white days every Friday. Not every Friday, selected Fridays. You can call admissions and have that schedule. You get lunch with the faculty. You'll get a tour of the place, and you'll find out everything that's going on. And we are winding down the game here. Final moments. Again, we should get a report from Jason. I'm going to go give a trophy to Monique Brown. So I'm going to check out Matt. You keep talking here until we get Jason ready. But thanks again for the first one. Edison wins this one 76-59.
And Edison is dribbling out the clock as we speak here. Maddie Novak with those last two free throws had 15 points in the fourth quarter. She's going to finish with 31 points. And then unofficially, as we said, Rakia Jackson, I believe, with 35 points, 27 of them in the first half. This was one of those games that right from the outset you could tell the game plan, especially for Edison with Jasmine Powell out, was to pressure the ball. That got them the big lead, certainly, and then they were able to just kind of roll on from there. Country Day could never really mount much of a comeback, and they were able to chip into it a little bit. But despite the fine efforts for Powell and for Novak, this was a kind of a lopsided score here. We're going to throw it down to Jason. He's with Rakia Jackson down on the sidelines. Jason, what you got for us?
Rakia, do you feel that was a statement win, knowing that you guys are playing up in what was formerly Class B, now Division II, and you're joining the same division as Country Day? They were back-to-back state champs in that division. Do you feel at all that was a statement win because of that?
Definitely. Sorry.
Should I wait? Oh, definitely. I feel we were sending a message to as where we play them in the class. We most likely are going to play them in the championship. So we wanted to make sure we go hard and show them what they have coming for them. So, we can be prepared.
The defense really frazzled them today with your press and your 2-3 zone. What was the message in practice about how you try to attack that defense?
We try to focus mainly on tough defense. We are an aggressive team, and we like to do things like trap. So that's our game, and that's what gets us going on offense.
Thanks, Rakia. Congratulations on the win today. Good luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Your team and what you love about this team this year.
I would say I love our
Absolutely. And talking with you, Jack, had just a phenomenal game. Getting a chance to coach her so special. What do you love most about coaching? She can do it all. I think we really saw that today. So once again, congratulations. Thank you for being here. And good luck with the rest of the season. All right, let's go.
Back up here with Jason Ross, and Jason joins us. Pretty convincing win here by Edison. They kind of started out from the jump, got right on Country Day, and really kind of took it to them. And as you said, as Rakia told you down there in the post game, kind of a statement win for them.
Oh yeah, I believe that joining the division with Country Day and now moving up to what is Division II. That really put in imprints and maybe put their statement on this class early on in the season, showing their dominant performance again. Rakia coming out hot and finishing hot. I really felt that they played their game defensively, specifically with that 2-3 zone and the press. Coach seemed to be intense in the locker room, despite the fact that they were up going into the break, and I think they really carried that on into the second half, and Country Day kind of maybe lost a little of the motivation down the stretch there.
Sure, and that's going to be an issue with Country Day, is going to be that depth that they maybe don't have, that Edison certainly does. And with Edison over the next couple of years, I know Monique told me a couple weeks ago that scheduling is going to be one of those things that's going to be hard for them, because some teams don't necessarily want to take on that challenge, and obviously Country Day did and Fowlerville did a couple of weeks ago. Some teams are willing to, but scheduling is going to be pretty hard for them, I think, over the next couple of years, because that's kind of a daunting task for teams to come in and want to take on an Edison team that's probably going to have every opportunity to kind of blow the doors off sometimes.
And Matt, what are your thoughts for Country Day moving forward? Another tough loss there. How do you think they kind of bounce back from that moving forward and recover? They have 3 players, as head coach Frank Orlando told me, that are college caliber players, but it's all about coming together as a team and eventually getting that chemistry to flow.
Well, Country Day always plays a tough schedule, and I think what's going to be important for them over the next couple of weeks is obviously, getting Jasmine Powell healthy, After that, it's just going to be kind of bringing some of those younger kids up to speed on the varsity level, because a lot of those kids, either played JV last year or were just on the bench for the title run. So it was one where they're going to have to really bring them up to speed and kind of get them ready to play, because they're going to need some of those depth players once the tournament run starts, because you can't necessarily just rely on those top 3 all the time.
Yep, and we'll have coverage for you all day. 3 more games to go here on the State Champs Sports Network. Signing off, I'm Jason Ross Jr. alongside Matt, and we'll have Lauren coming back up for the next one.
The first annual State Champs Winter Jam is presented by the Horatio Williams Foundation, Leadership for Life. The Winter Jam is also brought to you in part by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. More members than any other basketball coaches association in the country. And Inside Prep Sports.